I recovered at the end of the season. She said I was all good, so I'm just continuing to do recovery on my whole entire body, and we'll figure it out going into year 3. That was my focus, is off season just being completely healthy. Here it says the Sky didn't have the best 2025 season. The team closed things out with a 10-34 record. God damn. And in 12th place in the rankings. Reese vented her frustration with how the team was performing in September and was suspended for a half game.
I quit. Those were the words everyone inside Team USA camp says changed everything, because on the final day, when Caitlin Clark was named starter, the gym didn't erupt. IT fractured. Like, subscribe and stay with me because this story spirals fast, and the ending caught everyone off guard. The setup. Team USA camp had been tense from the start. Not loud tense, quiet tense, the kind you feel before something explodes. Cameras were limited. Media kept back. Decisions were being made behind closed doors, and one decision was already locked in. Caitlin Clark was starting, and the moment the room shifted, when the lineup was posted, there was no announcement, no speech. Just names on a board. Clark at the top. Players leaned in, assistants froze. Angel Reese saw it instantly. Not the board, the message, the internal collision. For Angel, this wasn't just a role, it was an identity. She had been used to being the center, the spark, the emotional engine, but this camp felt different.
Nothing to do with that team. Listen to the quote. I'm under contract. I guess I plan on returning to the Sky. I guess. I'm under contract for next year. I guess I'll be there. Hey, y'all gotta trade her. She don't want to be there, bro. The locker room it's cancered already. It's done. The locker room is in the stage of chemo. Respectfully, it's over. Y'all seen Courtney Vandersloot go on camera and say, yeah, I will be back, even though other people were saying otherwise. I will be back.
The ball moved faster without her calling for it. The spacing worked cleaner, without forcing touches, and the coaches noticed, not out of favoritism, but out of efficiency. The practice that lit the match. Scrimmage time, full speed, and oh mercy. Caitlin brought the ball up, paused, then launched a deep logo 3 swish. The gym went silent. Not celebration, recognition. The kind that lands heavy. Another possession. Another dagger. Clark wasn't playing flashy. She was playing decisive. Angel felt it slipping. Angel tried to answer with energy, physical play, extra contact. But the game didn't bend. IT flowed around her. Each possession felt smaller. Each touch more forced. And frustration began to show. Not anger, panic. The locker room friction. AT the break. The room split. Not physically, but emotionally. One side calm, focused, locked in, the other restless. Angel spoke up, not yelling, not whispering, direct.
So let's go ahead and get into it right now.
Then in their very near future. And we wrote about that on the site, just like how people have been perceiving the negotiations and what still affects them and what they're thinking about with regards to the new collective bargaining agreement. But for now, just good time at camp, 3 days in North Carolina. A little snow on one of the days, just a little taste of the winter in the South. But
right.
Yeah, it was interesting just to see what Carol Lawson is prioritizing in terms of how she wants to make her imprint on this program. And just fun to see the players in a live game situation again, because you think about Caitlin hasn't played since July 15th,
Yes.
There are 4 sparks of this camp. Their season ended on September 11th, right? So it's been a long time since any of them have really played competitive basketball. You saw some situations where Caitlin's stuck guarding Kelsey and Kelsey's, knocking her off the ball and Caitlin gets called for a foul and she starts
She wanted to start. She didn't want a bench role. Didn't want to be a piece. She wanted to be the piece the coaches decide. This is where it turned. The staff didn't react emotionally. They reacted structurally. What worked, what didn't, what the film showed. And the answer stayed the same. Clark stays in roles. Stay defined. The line that ended it. That's when it happened. Angel stood up, paused, and said the words everyone keeps repeating. I quit. Not screamed, not dramatic, final. The walkout. She grabbed her things, didn't wait for a response, didn't look back. The door closed, and the gym didn't breathe for a full 10 seconds. The aftershock. Players stared. Assistants avoided eye contact, because this wasn't just a walkout. IT was a fracture in the plan, and everyone knew it. The irony no one missed.
make a game to go from down 5 to up 13. Like that. Well, basically, it was down 15 to up 10 against Phoenix Mercury last year, where every single basket, other than one, was either scored or assisted by Caitlin Clark in what was the craziest game of her career. Where it's funny, if you look back on that game, I think she had 15 points and 13 assists, and on 4 of 15 shooting. And people were just like, "Oh, this was a terrible game." I remember people posting stats and were like, "Oh, inefficient. She nearly lost in that game." And it's like, I literally was like, go to the box score and look at what happened from when they were down 10 to up, or down 15 to up 10. 2 points, Caitlin Clark. 2 points, X, assisted by Caitlin Clark. 3 points, Liz Smith, assisted by Caitlin, assisted by Caitlin, assisted by Caitlin, scored by Caitlin, assisted by Caitlin, assisted by Caitlin. It's like, that's kind of way she plays, and she needs to be happy. She needs to be happy. She needs to play with joy. And that's kind of, for me, that's one of what I always say is the only reason I don't like Stephanie White as a coach for Caitlin.
Here's the part nobody ignores. The same camp that once questioned Caitlin, the same system that once slowed her, was now built around her, and it worked. The reversal. Hours later, the narrative flipped. Angel's camp spoke. Regret surfaced. Second thoughts. Suddenly, the message changed. She wanted back. She wanted to start. She wanted the role restored. But the camp had already moved on.
To those refs, if they are not calling the game right. I remember there was a clip showing De'Erica Hamby getting that double team hard hedge going on Caitlin, and they were like, "Oh, Caitlin is still pushing off." Look, Hamby's arm was across Caitlin's chest. All right, I did want to bring this into this video. Hamby reaching across the chest is a foul on Hamby. All right, she was restricting her freedom of movement. You can't do that, fam. You gotta slide those puppies. Now, I'm not too surprised that players could not handle Caitlin Clark passes. We saw that happen in the first year, right? So when you have players who don't necessarily play with her, never play with her, they're gonna have to have a learning curve, right? They're gonna have to have a learning curve. Now, I do feel like Chelsea Gray has some really stylish passes in some of those clips, so I don't know why it's so hard to keep up with Caitlin Clark. Maybe because she threads that needle and she puts it right where you need it, right where it needs to be, right? And as they stated, De'Erica Hamby had a situation where she got the ball, and I think that's when she got blocked. I think that's what she's talking about. But she got the ball, brought it down, right? Caitlin Clark is going to put it right where you need it so you can get it and go up with it. That's another level of skill, another level of thinking, another level of, I'm thinking 10 steps ahead, right? It's not only getting the ball to the player, it's getting the ball where the player needs it. That's another level of facilitating. That's why we say, man, Caitlin Clark is the top guard, man, all right? Y'all start the conversation in the chat, but I'm just saying, Chelsea Gray.
The final day reality. NO meetings, no negotiations. Basketball doesn't pause. Caitlin ran the final session, controlled tempo, directed traffic, and Team USA looked settled. What this really was, this wasn't punishment. This wasn't favoritism. This was evolution to a system choosing efficiency over emotion, flow over force. Final day. Final decision. Point one player walked out chasing control. Another stayed in and took command, and Team USA made its choice. Not with words, but with basketball, because when the pressure hits and the margins tighten, there's only room for what works.